Okay, so example 7 here, we're integrating across the asymptote. So the asymptote we're going to see is going to be at x equals 2, and notice that we're integrating across that asymptote. Well, that's a problem. We can't integrate across asymptotes. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to split this up into two separate integrals with limits. So what we're going to do is going to say, I'm going to let a go to 2, and the first integral is going to be from 1 to 2. Okay, and we need a limit because as we go to 2, there's my asymptote, so it's an unbounded region. So I'm going to need to have that section. Okay, the other part is across on the other side of the asymptote. So I'm going to calculate that area separately and say limit as a goes, this is a goes to 2 from the negative side. This is going to be a goes to 2 from the positive side. Okay, so on the other side of the asymptote, so we're going to start at a, or 2, and integrate to 3. I'm just going to write this as a negative power so that I can integrate this a little bit easier. And there it is. Okay, these are one-sided limits because we are going to those asymptotes from that side. I probably should have been a bit more specific about this one too. These ones we're going to 0 from the positive side, and this one here, this one 0 again, we're going to 0 from the positive side. Okay, we really should have made those a one-sided limit. Okay, because they're going to the asymptote from one side in particular. Okay, so we're going to anti-differentiate this. So limit as a goes to 2 from the negative side, and it's going to be x minus 2 to the negative 2 all over negative 2 from 1 to negative 2, so 1 to 2, plus the limit as a goes to 2 from the positive side. We're going to end up with the same integral. And our bounds are going to start at 2, and we're going to go to 3, and 2 from the positive side. Okay, so then we're going to plug this in. I want to rewrite this with the exponent as a positive exponent. So this is a denominator expression. So I'm just going to rewrite this limit as a goes to 2 to negative. And this is going to be negative 1/2 over 2x minus 2 squared. Okay, and from 1 to a, plus limit as a goes to 2 from the positive side of negative 1 over x minus 2 squared from a to 3. All right, so then as I plug in a equals 2 from the negative side, okay, we're going to end up, this is going to be going to negative infinity, okay, or sorry, 0. Okay, so as I approach 2 from that side, because it's squared, this is always going to end up being positive. Okay, this expression is going to be positive. It's going to be going to 0. I'm going to be dividing by 0, which is going to give me infinity, but it's going to be positive infinity. Okay, and the reason why is because regardless of whether I approach from the negative or positive side, I'm going to square it. So even though this is close to negative 0, okay, because I'm approaching it from the negative side, okay, so like negative 1.99999 minus 2 is going to give me some negative number there. I'm going to square it so that end result of this is going to be positive. That's very important to keep track of the signs that way, okay, and understand where those signs are coming from. So I'm going to get a negative sign in there, squared negative sign, which is positive. So I'm going to end up with 1 over 0, negative 1 over negative. I really shouldn't write that, but it's going to be negative infinity. Okay, or sorry, negative 1 over positive. So it's going to be negative 1 over positive 0. Okay, so that means it's going to be a negative infinity. So I'm going to write that in. Negative infinity minus negative 1 over, in this case, negative 1 squared is positive 1, so 2, so it's going to be plus 1/2. So I already have negative infinity here, plus, I'm going to do this side. I'm going to plug my 3 in, so I'm going to end up with negative 1 over 2 times 1. 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1, so I'm going to end up with 1/2, positive negative 1/2, minus, okay, so this is going to be negative 1 over 2. Now when I plug the 2 into here from the positive side, it's going to be like 2.001, so it's going to give me a positive. So although it doesn't affect it in this case, I need to keep track of sides. It's going to be positive squared negative. So I'm going to end up with negative 1 over positive 0 again. Okay, well that was the same thing that I had over here, so that's going to be negative infinity. Okay, so it's going to be negative infinity. Okay, and then that's going to work itself out there. And I'm going to end up with, ooh, this is kind of inconsistent, but I'm going to end up with negative infinity plus 1 minus 1, so it's going to be 0 plus infinity. So that area is going to be equal to question mark. I'm going to have to double check that one.